Hello students, hope you all are doing good. So today we will start our first lecture, that is Introduction to C++. So before going into C++, first of all we must understand that what is a program and what is a programming language. So a program is basically a collection of logical set of instructions. Okay, so it is a set of logical instructions that a computer or a machine can understand. In a similar way, a software is a collection of n number of programs, or it is a collection of n number of modules where each module is working independently, or it is in contact with each module. Okay, it depends upon the it depends upon that how we are using, okay, the software, upon the requirement of the software, that how the modules are correlated or the modules are independent. So the language with the help of which we develop a software is known as a programming language. So C++ is a programming language that came into existence in order to write some application programs or good system softwares. Okay, so a good software, okay, that contains some essential features like security, okay, reliability, efficient, it is highly efficient, efficiency, these all features are present in C++. Okay, so it is evolved in 1979 by a scientist that is known as Bjarne Stroustrup, that belongs to Denmark. So some of you call it as Bjarne and some of students call it Bijan. Okay, so the pronunciation is not of main importance. Okay, so it is Bjarne Stroustrup. So earlier it was known as C with the classes. Okay, so it was known as C with the classes because it was still in a developing phase. In 1983 it was known as C++. So now the C with the classes has been converted into a name. That name has been given as C++. Plus plus is an operator in C, so it is basically an advancement in C. Okay, so there are some essential features, or there are some modifications or updations that were being done in C with the classes. So a complete package or a complete language has been evolved in 1983 and was known as C++. So we should understand that this C++ is not the first object oriented programming language. The first object oriented programming language was Simula 67, and this C++ is completely based on Simula 67. Okay, so this is basically a history that how C++ came into existence. Okay, there were some features that were not present in C, and because of that, as we know that the evolution is taking place. Okay, the digitization, or we can say the automation, was in progress, and the scientists want some language. Okay, there was a necessity of a language that must be there, so that it must provide less complexity, okay, more reliability and more efficient programs. Okay, so that's why C++ came into existence after C. Next, C++ is generally considered as a multi-purpose programming language. Multi-purpose means it is a general purpose. It can do multiple tasks. Okay, it can do more than one task. It is a multi-purpose programming language. It is a middle level language. So in some books, okay, it has been written that it is a high level language, but we will consider C++ as a middle level language. So it contains the features of both low level and high level language. Okay, so if we compare to low level language, then we can consider C as a low level language as compared to C++, and if we go for high level language, then we can consider Java as a high level language as compared to C++. So it contains the features of both. Okay, it contains the features of low level language. Okay, as we know, it is a superset of C, so it is backward compatible. It contains the features, okay, that are present in C as well, and it has some object oriented features that are also present in some high level languages like Java. So we have categorized this language as a middle level language. So it is a compiler based programming language. Okay, it means that if we are writing a program or a source code, then this source code must be converted into an object code or a machine code that our CPU understands. So this is a compiler based programming language. The whole source code is converted into an object code, as you have seen in the C programs. We have just created the C programs. In the similar way, the programs of C++ are also compiler based. Okay, first the object code is generated and then the executable code is generated. So we can say that this C++ is useful in creation of application programs. Okay, so this describes the feature that it is a general purpose programming language. So we can create different application programs. It was developed to create different application programs. So the examples of the application programs are the text editors, okay, your notepad, your wordpad, and so on. So different types of text editors are being created with the help of this C++ language. It is a very powerful language. It is useful in the creation of system software. Okay, system software contains operating system. Okay, system software is also known as an operating system. So different types of operating systems are created with the help of C++. Okay, C is also being used in the creation of system software because many system calls are also written in C, but C++ is also an advancement. There are certain features, there are certain protocols that are written, that the system software follows, and these protocols or these syntaxes are also written in C++. Many databases are created using C++. So the most familiar database that we all use is Oracle. So Oracle, many of the internal things in Oracle, these things have been written in C++, or MySQL server has also been written in C++, SQL has also been written in C++, and so on. So it is also useful in the creation of databases. So databases applications are also created using C++. Device drivers are also created using C++. Okay, so device drivers are the internal system drivers that our our program is using. For example, you are just inserting a pen drive onto your system, and at some point of time you have seen that there is a message that USB not recognized. So this means that certain device driver is absent from your operating system, or it is not able to recognize. So these device drivers are also written in C++. These are basically the protocols or the commands. Okay, these are the syntaxes that are written in C++, and many other things. Okay, translators are also written in C++. Compilers, for example, G++ compilers that we will be using, it is also written in C++. So C++ is basically a general purpose, middle level, and compiler based programming language. Okay, so it can be said that it is a general purpose or a multi-purpose. It is middle level language, that is it contains the features of both the high level as well as the low level programming language, and it is highly compiled. Okay, it uses translators to convert one source code into another. So it is using translator, or the compiler here is the translator for this C++. So if we compare this C++ with its predecessor, that is C, so C++ is basically a superset of C. Okay, so in mathematics you have just came across this term, that is superset, that contains all the features that C contains. So C++ contains all the features, all the libraries that C contains, and it has some extra features also. Plus plus means advancement in C. So C++ is basically a collection of C libraries plus some other libraries that have been introduced in it. it follows functional approach as well as object oriented programming approach. So as we know that it is a superset of C, so it follows the traditional approach. Okay, we can also use functional approach, as well as we can introduce the concept of objects in C++ that we'll see later on in the subsequent lectures. So it is more secure as compared to C. Security in terms of data hiding, in terms of hiding the variables. Okay, we cannot directly access the variables, okay, at any place. So it is more secure. And in C there is a concept of global variables, where any function can access the global variables at any point, and it is not a good practice, because anyone can change that particular variable, and it can hamper the situation or hamper the software. So in C++ there was a concept known as a data hiding, okay, that makes this programming language a bit secure as compared to C. It is more efficient as compared to C. Efficiency in terms of we are focusing objects. Okay, so objects are there. The main focus is not on the functionality, rather than the focus is on the objects, how the objects are created. It supports generic programming. Okay, so generic programming means that we will see the creation of templates, how the templates are created, okay, how the concept of reusability is there. We will see later on this concept of generic programming in the subsequent lectures. It uses C++ uses bottom up approach as compared to top down approach in C. So bottom up approach is like, it's not that we are compiling the program from bottom to, okay, up, and in C++, and we are compiling in C from top to bottom. It's nothing like that. Bottom up approach means, first of all, we are just creating all the detailing. Okay, all the functionalities have been, okay, we are creating all the functionalities in our program. What are the detailing of our program? And after we decide the detailing, or after we do all the detailings, or after we do all the tasks related to the functions, then we will just assemble the functions. Okay, so assembling is done, okay, at a later time. Okay, so first of all we will write all the detailings, and at the end we will do the, you can say, the assembling of all these functionalities, okay, inside, with the help of the objects. But in C, first of all, what we'll do, we just write the main, and inside the main we just do all the detailings. Okay, so it is basically a flow approach. This bottom up approach means how the flow is going. So in bottom up approach, first of all the functionalities are created. Okay, all the functionalities are created, and at the end these functionalities are assembled into a single logical entity with the help of object. But in top down approach, first of all we just write the main, okay, and inside the main we are just writing the lines of code, and it is not a good practice. So these are certain comparisons, okay, between C and C++, and the main idea behind, okay, the main idea to develop C++ was, it was basically designed, okay, to simulate the real world problems into coding environment. Okay, all the real world problems are being simulated into a coding environment. Okay, so we will see how this is, okay, this particular process is done with the help of certain programs and with the help of certain concepts in the subsequent lectures. Thanks.